If you're enjoying the podcast you're listening to right now, and you've got a love of the paranormal, then I'm Rob Kirkup, and I think you might enjoy my show, How Haunted. Every other Friday, I take you to some of the most haunted locations across the UK, with the occasional trip overseas, as we explore the dark history behind each place, and the terrifying ghost stories said to haunt them. Across the year, there are seasonal specials too, including Christmas episodes packed with real listener ghost stories. And every October, the podcast goes weekly, a themed month building towards a big Halloween spooktacular. You'll also join me on real paranormal investigations, ghost hunts in seriously unsettling locations, with audio from the night so you can hear what happens as it happens. So if you're ready for creepy locations, grim history, and stories that follow you long after the lights go out, search How Haunted wherever you get your podcasts. And join me as together we ask, How Haunted?
Hey there, I'm Susie and I'm the host of Beyond the Ferns podcast. Each week, I take you beyond the headlines into the stories that linger long after the news fades. From chilling true crime and unsolved cold cases, to paranormal encounters, cults, and extraordinary survival stories. It's a little bit of everything for everyone. Whether you're drawn to mysteries, fascinated by the strange and unexplained, or simply love a good story, I focus on the truth, the details, and above all, justice for the victims and survivors. So buckle up. Things are about to get a little scary. Follow Beyond the Ferns wherever you get your podcast. Thanks, y'all.
Hello and welcome to I Talk to Ghosts. I'm your host and resident medium, Jennifer, and I welcome you into my spirit parlor this evening. Come settle in. I saved you your favorite seat, and let's have another metaphysical chat. I don't know about where you are, but here the calendar still says it's summer. The sun is still high, the air still holds that thick golden weight in the afternoons, and yet lately, something in me has started to shift. I find myself lighting candles earlier in the evening. I find myself reaching for the darker colors, heavier stones, older music. A restlessness creeps in, like something ancient, tapping on the inside of my ribs and asking to be let out. If you have felt this too, you're not imagining it, and you're certainly not alone. There is a reason for this pull, and it has nothing to do with pumpkin spice showing up early on the store shelves. Our bodies and our spirits are older than the modern calendar. Long before clocks and quarterly planners, people marked time by what the land was doing. And the land, even now in the thick of August heat, has already begun to turn. The greenery has stopped stretching upward and has started curling inward. And the light, if you watch closely, is already changing angle. Something in the deep old part of us notices this before our conscious mind catches up. And that is often what we are feeling when the witchy mood arrives ahead of the weather. This is the beginning of the harvest season, even if it doesn't look like it quite yet. And today, I want to walk you through not one harvest, but three. Three turning points between now and the deepest dark of the year, each one asking something different of us, each one offering something different in return. We will move from the first cutting of grain through the balance point of the equinox and finally into Samhain itself, where the last harvest is not about crops at all, but of memory and spirit. So let's begin where the old farmers began, with the grain. We've already started. Around the 1st of August, the wheel turned to Lughnasadh, sometimes called Lammas. This is the first harvest, the grain harvest, and many older traditions. It carries with it the story of a God who gives himself to the field so that the people might eat. the corn god, cut down at the height of his strength so that life can continue. There's something worth sitting with that image. The first harvest is not only about gathering, it's about sacrifice, about the idea that abundance often requires something in the end. The stalks that feed you all summer are cut now, and what is left behind becomes bread. I like to think of Lughnasadh as the harvest of effort. Whatever you planted back in the spring, whether that was a literal garden or an intention, a hope, a piece of work you have been quietly tending, this is the moment when the first fruits of that labor begin to show themselves. Maybe not the full result yet, but the first loaf, warm and imperfect, proof that the work was not for nothing. If you want to honor this in a small way, you might bake something with your own hands this week. Bread, if you are inclined, or anything that involves transformation through heat and time. As you do, you might quietly name one thing you have been working towards all year and thank it for showing you its first small signs of life. There's also a bittersweetness here. Lughnasadh sits at the peak of summer's power and the beginning of its decline, both at the same time. The sun is still strong, but you can feel it already beginning to lower in the sky if you pay attention. That mixture of fullness and loss arriving together is very much what this whole season is about. Grief and gratitude were never meant to be separated. They arrive holding hands. And several weeks later, we reach the autumn equinox, often called Mabon. This is the second harvest, and it is one of balance. Day and night stand equal here for one brief held breath before the dark begins to overweigh the light for the rest of the year. This is traditionally the fruit and the wine harvest. The orchards give up their apples, the vines their grapes, and there's a fullness in this time that feels different from Lughnasadh's first tentative offering. By Mabon, the abundance is undeniable. The baskets are heavy, the table is full. But balance is not only about having enough. It's about the honesty of counting the cost. At Mabon, many traditions encourage a kind of reckoning, not in a harsh way, but a gentle one. What did this year's harvest actually require of you? What did you give up, knowingly or not, in order to gain what you now hold in your hands? I think Mabon is the harvest of balance, and I mean that in the fullest sense. It's a moment to weigh the light against the dark within your own year, without judgment, simply as an honest accounting. You don't have to like everything you find on the scale. Absolutely not. You only have to look and witness. A lovely practice for this time might be as simple as sitting with two small things. One object or word representing something you gained this year, and one representing something that you release or you lost in order to gain it. You don't need to resolve the tension between the two of them. Just let them sit together on your altar, on your windowsill, in your mind, and acknowledge that both are part of the same harvest. The equinox does not ask you to choose between light and dark. It simply asks you to notice that for this one day, you're standing exactly between them. So we come to the last of the three harvests, the one many of you have been waiting for, I'm sure, Samhain on the 31st of October, when the final crops come in from the field and whatever remains behind is left deliberately for the spirits and for the fae. This detail always moved me. The old harvesters did not strip the field bare. They left something behind, an offering, an acknowledgement that the land was never fully theirs to take from without giving something back. There's a generosity to that and a humility too. Samhain is the third harvest, but it's not a harvest of grain or fruit. It's the harvest of the year itself. Everything that happened between the last Samhain and this one, every joy, every ending, every person who walked beside you, and every person who has since walked on, comes due for gathering now. The veil is said to be the thinnest here. We're not just closing out a season, we're closing out an entire turn of the wheel, and the dead, who know something about endings, feel very close at a time like this. If Lughnasadh asked you to notice your effort, and Mabon asked you to weigh what you gained against what you gave up, Samhain asks something quieter and perhaps more difficult. It asks you to remember, to sit with the full harvest of your year, the sweet parts and the sorrowful parts together, and let yourself feel what rises up when you do. You might find yourself thinking of someone who's no longer here. You might feel pulled to set a place for them at your table, or simply to speak their name aloud in a quiet room. There's no wrong way to do this. Grief and remembrance do not follow a script, and I would never try to hand one to you here. What I will say is this: the thinning veil is not something to fear. It's an invitation offered very rarely in the year to let people and moments you carry inside you come a little closer to the surface, to harvest your memories the way the old farmers harvested their fields, gently, gratefully, and with something always left behind as an offering to what came before and what will come after. 3 harvests, my dear: effort, balance, and memory, each one asking you to gather something different, and each one reminding you that abundance and loss have always traveled together, season after season, long before either of us were born. So as the days shorten and that witchy restlessness settles further into your bones, I hope you will let yourself move through these harvests slowly. Bake something, weigh something, remember someone. And when Samhain finally arrives, know that whatever you are carrying, you don't have to carry it alone. Thank you so much for this chat we had tonight about the 3 harvests of the year. We're heading quickly towards the Mabon. I know it's not until the later part of September, but blink and it'll be here, right? Come support my podcast and visit patreon.com/italktoghosts for a lovely illustrated keepsake to remind you of all the magical details we talked about with each of these harvests. All of my downloadable offerings like this are available for just $1 a month. Until next time, stay curious, stay open, and keep listening. The spirits usually have more to say than we expect. Take care.